today. Okay, well, welcome, my beautiful souls. My name is Anna Ketney. I have been an energy healer, master energy healer, and spiritual teacher for ooh, 2008. So I think it's about 20 years, something like that. Um, I have taught like thousands, over 5,000 students to become energy healers. And several of those, or actually more than that, have gone on to become instructors and trainers. My background started actually in theta healing. That's where I had my kind of spiritual awakening. And then I kind of moved into coaching because I trained a lot of energy healers to start to kind of develop their intuitive and healing abilities. And I realized a lot of these people didn't have any business skills. So I moved into business coaching to teach them how to do business. But in a very different, unconventional way to the way most people teach business. So I fused the energy of God, divinity, universal intelligence into business. So the energetics, the mindset, and the strategy together. And I feel like it's been a beautiful full circle because here I am back again, talking about healing again. And this has been coming to me for the last, I'd say, several months now. And for some of the previous masterclasses, I know some of you have been in those, whether it was evolution, whether it was God Zone, broadcast, parallel reality, some of the recent masterclasses I've done in the last, several months, you've kind of been exposed to this new level of work that I've been teaching that kind of crosses over between sort of coaching and energy healing, and this evolution that I've experienced, this evolution and a deeper sense of connection to my relationship with the creator of all that is, universal intelligence, God, whatever you call that energy. So today I want to do, rather than me lecturing at you for an hour, I want to do some real practical exercises because this is what's going to give you more of a visceral experience of what I'm talking about, rather than just an academic understanding of some of the principles that I'm going to speak about today. So I'm going to do a few exercises with you. So I'm going to kind of do this a little bit more workshop style. You will get the recording of the replay, and it'll be available for a week afterwards, and then it'll all come down. So my suggestion is, you're here live, be here. That's my suggestion. So I'll do my best to keep to the hour. I'll do my best. I've got a bit of a challenge set for myself because once I get talking, you can't shut me up. Who knew I had so much to say? So that's kind of a bit about my background. So I've run 5 companies, multiple millions generated, over $150 million in client revenues. So in the world of business and fusing energetics and bringing God into business, like, I'm kind of like the dark horse of the industry. Fame is not something I really sought. So the majority of the world doesn't know about me, and my people in the theta healing world do tend to know me, but outside of that, I'm sort of relatively unknown. It's not something I've actively pursued. So if you're a bit shocked by some of the things that I'm doing, like, where have you been all my life, Anna? It's because maybe you weren't ready. So here you are, and I can see obviously lots of familiar faces. So welcome. I know many of you were my students from many years ago. So I'm grateful that you're ready to join me on this next evolution of healing. Okay, let's dive in. Okay, so just a few kind of like foundational principles before we dive into the first meditational process to activate healing through God consciousness, through source energy. Okay, so number one, when we talk about being one with everything, many spiritual teachers and teachings have spoken about this energy of oneness, really being one with everything. Like, you're one with the earth, you're one with the bees, you're one with all the planets, you're one with all the various realms in the universe. Like, you're one with everything. That's a very nice intellectual understanding. But what does it mean when we actually experience life in this presence of oneness? So I'm going to talk about 4 levels of consciousness. The first level is the human who believes that they are a victim of their circumstance. They feel separate, they feel scared, they feel alone, they feel at the mercy of the world. So unfortunately, a lot of humanity is still stuck at this level of victim consciousness where it's, poor me, there's nothing I can do about it. I've got some bad karma and I've just got to ride it out to the next incarnation. Like, life is crap. I'm not enjoying it. I've just got to just try and get through it. There's nothing I can do. They did this to me. It's their fault, and this is why I am the way I am. So a big portion of humanity is still locked in that first level of consciousness where it's this victim mentality, or this illusion of separateness. I'm alone in the universe, God doesn't care, and there's nothing I can do. That's level 1. Level 2 is, interestingly, a lot of Personal development exists in this arena, and you can achieve great many things from a second level. The second level is by me. Basically, I do it. It's through human efforting. I roll up my sleeves and I get to it. I make things happen, right? There's no reliance on God or some high power. It's like, I'm the one that's going to make it happen. I do it. I'm going to take responsibility for my life. If I don't like it, I can change it. So massive action, is a typical kind of phrase of this world. So a lot of personal development and a lot of even the coaching space is a lot to do with sort of the hustle and the grind and putting in the hours and a lot of effort in. And people can literally make millions doing it this way. It's possible. Alex Hormozy, classic example. From level 2 consciousness, he's generated hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars through human efforting. But that has its limits because on a physical 3D level, you do get exhausted. It's physically tiring and exhausting to constantly be rolling up your sleeves and forcing things to make happen. Now, we've all done this. We've all manifested through hustle, grind, force, push. We've all done it. It works. I put my mind to it and I push the boulder up the hill. Yay me, I did it. And you get to feel like the hero. You get to feel proud of yourself. A job well done. So most of society is programmed this way, where it's like, if you're the good girl, if you work really hard and you get good grades, then you'll be rewarded. Yeah. So we're trying to effort our way to be good, to tick all the boxes in school, at work, right? Tick all the boxes with the government, like pay your taxes, work hard to retirement, and then get your rewards at the end. Yeah. So again, majority of human society is in this kind of matrix programming of like human efforting. Okay. Now, level 3. Level 3 is typically my community. You guys are already spiritually awakened. You've done some sort of yoga, meditation, theta healing, some form of energy healing. You've had a spiritual awakening, and you realize there's this higher power, this God, divinity, universal intelligence, source energy, some higher power that is moving through all things, that is the creation of all things. And you're able to channel and transmit this energy and receive information, give yourself healings, give clients healings, facilitate processes, get intuitive guidance, do cool things like telekinesis, telepathy, psychometry, future readings, cool stuff like that, which I used to teach for about 18 years. So much fun, so much fun. I've got video footage of people moving things with their thoughts. I've got video footage, including my son. When he was really little, he was so good because he didn't get programmed by society yet. He wasn't told it's impossible that you could move things with your mind. So cool. Anyway, so majority of my community are in this third level where you realize this is higher power. You're part of this energy of the oneness, and you're using this energy of divinity to bring it into your life to manifest certain things. So you may be using it to change mindset, so belief work, digging work. Maybe you're using it to manifest, the soulmate or the baby or whatever it is. As using your tools and processes, and with that comes a series of spiritual philosophies, whether it's human design, gene keys, astrology, numerology, sacred geometry, crystal healing, right? All of this, tarot, angel cards. I love all the spiritual toys, by the way. I have so many. I love all the toys. I do. They're so much fun. And there's some really cool, beautiful things you can do with all these sort of tools of the trade when you're working on this level. Okay. However, there is a fourth level. And so this fourth level is basically as me, meaning I am operating as God consciousness. Hear me out. You're not the God. You are God consciousness having a human experience. So if you imagine this vast energy of the divine, universal intelligence, comes into this physical body, the avatar, the biosuit, and has a differentiated experience. So the universal intelligence is undifferentiated. It's all the oneness, the one mind, the unified field that they talk about in quantum physics. And then a part of that God consciousness goes into a physical body and experiences a unique experience. So God chose to experience life through this avatar as a woman, a mother, a wife, a spiritual teacher, former graphic designer, web designer, interior designer. I've changed careers many times. Business coach, spiritual advisor, like lots of different variations. Yeah. who loves a matcha over coffee, right? Who loves dark chocolate over milk chocolate, differentiated, personal. But it's still God consciousness. And it can be tempting to think that this body is who you are. But you are not your body, you are not your gender, you are not your job title. This is a small approximation of who you and what you are. You are God consciousness having a unique experience through this avatar, this biosuit, right? Give me a thumbs up if this is making sense so far. Yeah? Thumbs up or an emoji that this is making sense. Yeah? Okay, cool. Good, you're tracking with me. Amazing. Okay, so if you're not this body, right? If you're not this body, that if you are so much more than just this body, then when you've been doing the digging work, the healing work, the journaling questions, the vision boarding, the life scripting, there's so many different tools I could name, so many different tools. You've been doing crystal healing or tarot, you've been doing all the processes, NLP, EFT, all the tapping, all the things, even like herbal medicine, right? My mother's a naturopath in Australia, herbal medicine. You've been using the tools, and there are some things that do heal, resolve, and you get amazing manifestations. But there are other things in your life that are still eluding you. No matter how much vision boarding you do, no matter how many mantras, affirmations, declarations you do in your Superman, Wonder Woman power pose, no matter how many hours you meditate, no matter how many cathartic healing sessions you have and you sob and release yet another trauma, the damn thing still hasn't manifested. And you're like, what the hell is going on? I can manifest this, this, and then this, but there's this area in my life where I'm still stuck. And then we create these stories. I must not be worthy. I must not be deserving. There must be more limiting beliefs to find. And you go back to healing. And you're in this endless healing loop trying to fix the avatar. Do you see the problem? You've been working on the wrong thing. You think it's the body. This little human having this meat suit. You think this is the problem. It needs fixing. But you are not this body. You just live in this body. You are God consciousness having a human experience. And so at some point you realize, oh, it's not about human efforting and finding yet another bottom belief. Yet finding yet another childhood trauma, another past life trauma. Because which past life? Because if you are of one mind, if you're God consciousness, whose past life? Which avatars? Because if you're of one mind, if you are God consciousness having a human experience, which avatar? Which past life? Whose past life? Right? And you are not, this physical body is not the only body that God has inhabited. Not only have you got past lives, you've got future lives, you've got intervention lives, you've also had lives in other places, other times, in other shapes, on other planets, in other dimensions, non-humanoid. So we're talking about karma. Which karma? If we talk about like trying to clear your karma from previous incarnations, we're just talking about Earth's karma. But literally your beingness is ancient. It goes beyond earthbound karma. So it's like you've been doing healing work through like a keyhole, thinking, I'm this body, I've got my earth karma, I've got my past lives, I've got my future lives, right? I've got my tools, my crystals, my tarot cards. These are my tools, and I'm doing my healing. And you can achieve amazing things through the keyhole. You've seen it in your life. But there are certain things in your life where you're like, it hasn't shown up yet. I know it should be easy. I can see people manifesting these things in their life. They've got the money, they've got the soulmate, they've got the baby. Why can't I have it? Why is it not for me? And you go back to digging through your keyhole of, let me find another bottom belief, let me find another trauma, another past life. Let me speak to yet another spirit guide to find out what's wrong with me, what's broken, what needs fixing, because this avatar is malfunctioning. But you're not the avatar. This is not who you are. There's a great book. It's called The Holographic Universe. It's a little scientific. However, he talks about how he proves that the 3D is a matrix. It's a hologram. That book was given to me like, I don't know, 15 years ago. by one of our former videographers and photographers, Zach. And I didn't read the book until most recently. I'm like, hey, I had this information 15 years ago. I obviously wasn't ready to read it, to really understand that this 3D reality is a matrix, it's a hologram. This is the game we choose to come and play. And I'll teach you how to crack the code of the matrix to start to create heaven on earth, where you get to manifest the things so crazy fast, it'll blow your mind. Yeah, the holographic universe. And so I'm sure, and you can give me a thumbs up or yes, have you experienced a moment in your life where you thought of something and then it just showed up out of the blue? You thought of it and it's like, oh, here it is. And it just showed up. Yeah, getting a lot of thumbs up, hearts. Yeah, Alina says yes. Who else? Lorena says yes. Kathleen, Natty. Hey, Natty, how you doing? Yeah, 5D consciousness, exactly. Nick, Jeanette, Despina, Marcella, Preeti. Noel, I can't keep up. Gabrielle, okay, you've all done it. You've all done it. What happens when you're manifesting things out of the blue? You just think of it and it shows up. What's happening there? Where you're like, you're doing all this digging, you're doing all these rituals, praying to the moonlight, lighting your candles, putting your crystals out in the moonlight, right? You're doing all the rituals, and there's some stuff in your life where you're like, you just think of it and it shows up. What is happening? Because you have got no resistance to the receiving of that thing. You're not attached, you're in the pure surrender, you just think and it shows up. In that moment, you're operating from fourth level. So you've already been doing it. Like, it's not like it's like, oh, some initiation you have to go through to be worthy and deserving to be at fourth level. Fourth level is your Buddhic or Christ consciousness, otherwise known as the I am presence. I am that I am. So how to live from that place, how to exist from that place when you're living in the 3D matrix and your 3D reality is not reflecting your desires. Like, you're not living where you want to be living. You don't have the body that you want to have. You're not in the relationship you want to have. The bank account's not where you want to be. And you're looking at your 3D with your eyes, your human eyes of your avatar, at your 3D, which is in the matrix, through this avatar, through the meat suit, and it's not reflecting. How do you operate from this wonderful, magical place of Christ consciousness, Buddhic consciousness, the I am presence, walking the earth like God? How do you navigate that? Simple. You choose and decide. It's that easy. You've been told by so many different philosophers, teachers, mystics, there has to be some form of ritual or practice. And those things are wonderful. Yes, you can do breath work. Absolutely. Yes, you can meditate for like 28 years like I've done. Yes, that's another path. It took me that long to realize I didn't need to spend 28 years in meditation to get to this place. It's just simply a decision and a choice because it is a remembering. You have to find anything. You're not finding enlightenment. It's already within you. It's not outside of you because you are God consciousness having a human experience. So you're ready. Are you ready to experience that God conscious within you, to realize, to really see that you're just like inhabiting a biosuit and that you are so much more than this illusion of separateness of flesh, blood, and bone, with all your limiting beliefs, with all your stories, with all the wounds, that you are so much more than this. Okay, you ready? Okay, so this is our first process. We're going to go into a meditation. It's called God Zone.